Ever wonder why Star Wars planets have so many similar names? Sometimes it's just a bunch of planets ending in "uine", like your Tatooines, Dantooines, and Clattooines, which is really just because it sounds Star Warsy, and the in-universe meaning never really gets explained. But sometimes the names have a much darker history. The biggest case here are the Ord planets, planets like Ord Mantell mentioned in the historical documentary The Empire Strikes Back, and these names carry the legacy of one of the darkest periods in galactic history. The Ord in these names comes from Ordnance/Regional Depot and signifies their establishment as frontier bases for the Republic during the period known as the Pius Day Crusades. This period from roughly 12,000 to 11,000 saw the Republic taken over by a religious cult, the Pius Day, led by many chancellors but most notably Contispex I, through Contispex XIX, a name taken sometimes through heritage as a descendant of the first Contispex, but also as a signifier of inheriting his ideological legacy. Contispex's predecessor, a Bothan named Perslia, was impeached and assassinated as the Pius Day began their move to purge corruption and vice, with the definition of corruption essentially becoming more and more linked with just being non-human. Once the Republic itself was under the Pius Day's sway, the next logical step was to begin spreading their faith outward, beginning in the year 11,965 before the Battle of Yavin, or BBY, around 2 decades after Contispex I took power. This began the First Pius Day Crusade, an all-out campaign against the Hutts. Throughout the next millennium, well over 30 crusades would take place, pushing the Republic's boundaries ever outwards and solidifying humanity's control over the galaxy. Non-human aliens were slowly forced into the faith at Blaster Point as the Republic's military continued to roll its front lines forward, purifying the worlds it came across, and yes, this all does sound very Warhammer, something which is only further reinforced once you see the ships they used at this time, called cathedral ships. While lawyers within the Republic fought off these copyright claims from Games Workshop, the Ord planets were the backbone of many of the campaigns outward. They were used as hubs for the Pius Day Navy and for missionaries to move throughout the galaxy, with membership in the Navy being one of the few ways to be allowed to travel between different planets or regions. Many worlds were plundered and operations carried out from these worlds, and the path of these campaigns remains clearly marked on maps of the modern galaxy by the progression of the Ord worlds. The northern galaxy, along its westernmost spur before the edges of the unknown regions, shows the progression from Ord Mirit and Ord Megulamine to Ord Halatron, Ord Mantell, Ord Cantrell, Ord Benir, Ord Tracy, and many others. These were most notably the path of the Great Northern Crusade, or the 7th major Pius Day Crusade, targeted against Zabraks, Ithorians, and other species in that region. Some of these worlds, like Ord Tracy, remained important military outposts or shipyards well into and even beyond the Imperial period. Ord Cantrell was even used as a temporary capital for the Imperial ruling council after the fall of Coruscant. To the south of the core, which you can head out of past Ord and Nala, you get to Old Barag, homeworld of the Baragwan species, who were the targets of the 15th Crusade, and who now have their homeworld surrounded by Ord Ivarn, Ord Galapraxis, and Ord Valg. Further to the east, the Bothans were left with reminders of the 23rd Crusade, where Bothawai was one of the many planets targeted from worlds like Ord Mystera, Ord Segra, and Ord Pardran. While most of these worlds do retain their original Ord names, which probably wasn't a great sign to the aliens of the galaxy about their place in it, some worlds dropped them. Whether that's because they wanted to avoid association with the Crusades or some other reason is unknown. One such world was the home of the Empire's most prestigious academy, Karita. It also used to be an Ord planet, but by the end of Legends it stopped even going by Karita, and instead went by that pile of rubble over there when it was destroyed by future Jedi Master Kip Durin and one of the Empire's experimental superweapons, the Sun Crusher. While the effects of humanocentrism in the galaxy remained uncomfortably in play, some definitely did try to separate themselves from at least the appearance of being associated with these purges, including families who were still prominent within the Republic by the rise of the Empire. For example, the Prachi family allegedly attempted to purge all records of the family's activities from the era, seemingly hoping nobody would notice. These crusades, along with the 7th Alsacan conflict, also known as the Renunciation, which ended the period, are also prime candidates for a campaign map breakdown, so that's on the list of things to tackle in the hopefully near future. Thank you for watching, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and hope to see you next time.